What's up guys, it is Chris back with another news video, and today we have news from Baltic and a new Micro-Rotor watch. Before I get into it, please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel and I very much appreciate it. So, as I mentioned, Baltic is back with another new watch. This is a dress watch with a micro-rotor. It's called the MR01 Micro-Rotor, and it gets really a very nice setup. The Breguet numerals on here are applied. It's in 36 millimeters, 44 millimeter lug width or lug span, excuse me, and 9.9 millimeter thickness. That's because you're getting obviously that Hangzhou caliber 5000A, which is a Chinese made micro rotor. We've seen this movement in a few other watches, and now it has made its way into a Baltic. And as I mentioned, you get applied indices on here, and those are Breguet numerals. You're also getting a really nice sand textured dial. They're sort of a metallic dial. So there's a salmon color, a blue color, and a silver color. All three look really very, very nice. There is a small seconds between the 7 and 8 o'clock position. That's because of that Hangzhou movement. I'm not a huge fan of the position of the small seconds. I wish it was at the 6 o'clock. I think that's way better looking in my opinion, or even at the 9 or 3 o'clock, that would work as well. I'm not sure why they went that way. It is obviously the movement. It is not because of Baltic. Any watch that has this movement in it will have the small seconds at that position, just the way it is. As I mentioned, 36 millimeters, so this is a very wearable watch for people with smaller wrists and some people with larger wrists who don't mind a slightly smaller watch these days, and a lot of people are sort of moving in that direction. That 9.9 millimeters, obviously very thin because we do have a micro-rotor movement in here, and obviously if you guys are not familiar with a micro-rotor, it is an automatic movement that sort of looks like a hand-wound movement. They take the rotor and they actually embed it into the movement, so you get to see more of the movement, and it obviously has a very big benefit of being thin, so the watch ends up being thinner as well. 9.9 millimeters is not incredibly thin, almost 10 millimeters, but that's not bad because it does include the domed acrylic glass. So this does get acrylic glass. Again, I always prefer acrylic over a mineral glass because obviously mineral will scratch and you won't be able to buff those out. Acrylic, you can buff it out. But overall, I always prefer a sapphire crystal. So I would have preferred a sapphire crystal, especially considering the price point of this watch. And we'll get to that in just a minute. So there have been a few watches that have actually come out with this exact movement in it. One recently came out. That was Beaudary. That was, I think, around $199, which was an excellent price. There was a watch that came out with this movement about a year ago or 2 years ago, somewhere around there. And that was around $300. So that Beaudary actually undercut a few other brands that have been using this movement. Those are two that I've actually reviewed. There's a few others that are using them. They all are priced around that $200 to $300 range. Baltic are asking $626 for this watch. It's getting an acrylic glass. Those other watches that I mentioned had sapphire glass. This is a 36 millimeter watch, so it is the smallest one that has actually come out with this movement, smallest watch that's come out with this movement. However, it is on the way more expensive side than I expected. $626 is a lot of money for this watch, considering you're getting a Chinese micro-rotor movement. Yes, that is a very cool movement. You can see it from the back. It looks really good, but the prices of watches that have been coming out with this exact movement have been well below $300. And I'm very surprised to see that they have charged $626. Now, I don't remember, but I believe Baltic actually assembled their watches outside of China, I think in France. I may be completely wrong about that. Maybe that's what's adding to the price here. But even with that, if that is the case, $626 is still about $200 over what this price should be. I think this watch at $399 makes sense. At $626, I do not think this makes sense. Plus, you're paying taxes on top of that. I'm not sure if you're paying shipping. With everything, you're going to be spending around $700 on this watch. I think that's a lot of money. Even though this is probably at a higher quality than the other watches that I've also mentioned, I still think that they can come down on this. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I know that Baltic is very popular. I really like Baltic watches. I like the way that they look. I think that some of the movements that they use and some of the prices that they charge are a little bit questionable. And again, this is on the pricier side, like I just mentioned. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.